The following is a presentation of 13ABC Action News. Now, your table is ready. Join 13ABC's Jeff Smith with the decision makers of Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. This is the Roundtable.
And a good Sunday afternoon to you once again here on the Roundtable program. My name's Jeff Smith. Thank you so much for spending part of your weekend with us here on 13ABC Action News. Glad to have Ray Wood with me here, joining us from Local 14, UAW, Local 14. We have you here today, Ray, looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day as far as GM powertrain is concerned, isn't it?
Right. It's the official kickoff of our 8-speed transmission, and the 8-speed transmission is to kind of explain what the speeds are all about.
That was one of the things I said before we started here today. I said I wanted to.
Right.
We have talked about this. 13ABC's Lisa Guyton has done a number of stories leading up, the anticipation building it, the new Corvette, the 2015 Corvette. This transmission is going into, but I said, let's bring it down to those who may not be car savvy,
right,
and explain what is the panache, what is the excitement around this gearbox essentially.
It's a smoother, the higher the gears, the smoother the shift, and most importantly.
But it's automatic.
Yes, and it's a smoother shift, and the more gears, the greater the fuel efficiency. We have some cafe standards that the entire auto industry have to reach in the very near future. Yeah. And what that does is that gears allow us to get greater fuel efficiency, and like I said, even in a vehicle like a Corvette, right, you know, it kind of it's a low. It's a low body to the ground, but still, all the shifts are a lot smoother with the higher gears.
Right, and for those who don't understand at home or may not remember us doing stories on the CAFE standard, these were handed down by the government years ago, saying that we want all cars, trucks, vans, whatever, to reach a certain mileage count by said date. And as you said, it's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner, and you'll probably be hearing 9, 10, 11 speeds and even greater.
Oh, you think so, huh?
Oh, yeah, we know so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh, maybe a little scoop there from Mr. Wood. As we look at the complexity of what has been going on leading up to this point, this has been just training leading up to this point to make these, or you guys have been turning these out and are ready to flood these into the market starting tomorrow?
Oh yeah, we've been testing them all along. We've been making them for quite some time.
So what does tomorrow mean?
Tomorrow means that will be the official date that we will actually start production, and there'll be sellable transmissions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously this is kind of a wide-reaching operation because you've got other plants in Ohio, plants in New York, plants all around the country that they all have a job to do as far as bringing this car together, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. What we concentrate, and we do a very good job of making the best transmissions in the world, and as testimony that, you know, as those other speeds escalate, we should be right in line to continue that. But our piece of the puzzle is transmissions, and you know, the engines, they'll come from somewhere else, and you know, if we talk about, go back to the stories that we did about the Chevy Cruze. Sure. The Chevy Cruze was an Ohio car. The castings were out of Defiance, and it was built in Lordstown, and we did the transmission. So our piece, our concentration, our total focus is on making a great transmission.
What do you tell people, and I mean, this is one of the discussions as well here in our newsroom around town, and they see this Corvette, and the Vet has always been kind of tagged with, that's one of those unattainable cars for a lot of the public. It's one of those cars maybe you save and save and save and save, and you'll get there someday. But what do you say to somebody who, you kind of alluded to it, this 8-speed transmission, it will be used in more vehicles down the line. But for those who say, well, the Corvette's just not something I'm going to be in, so why do I care about this transmission?
Well, the whole focus is that it's going to expand. You know, this is the first product that is going in, but that 8-speed and the other higher speed transmission will be going into a multitude of cars on front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive cars. So, I guess if you would put it in that context, you would say that this 8-speed is going into the Corvette because that's the higher end car, and they give the bang for the buck to the higher end car right now.
And GM, obviously, with all the news out there, negative recalls, things of that nature, but you look at a good story here, and when you and I were talking on the phone, you said with all the negativity out there right now, this is the good story. This is one of the good stories as far as what Northwest Ohio is able to bring to the tale of GM.
Yeah, and don't really want to sound like arrogant or conceited, but we got a great workforce at Powertrain, and they through everything, whether it was a bankruptcy or whether it's the situation that we have right now, our membership, our workforce has been able to remain focused on the things that we can control, and we can put all our time, our energy, our efforts in making sure that what comes out of that Alexis Road transmission plant is the best possible product that anyone would want to be a part of. So that's what we try to concentrate on as much as we can, because we can't control a lot of other things, but we can control our workmanship.
Obviously, your counterpart to a little bit of the south and east over at the Chrysler plant and in the Jeep. And when you look at a new vehicle coming in there and the increased employment, bringing in a new new employees, whatnot. When you talk about this transmission and the fact you say there will be a 10, there will be an 11, down the road, does that say to you, because it says to me that more hiring is down the road as well for Powertrain, yes?
Absolutely.
How soon?
Absolutely. Well, that's kind of hard to tell. We wait to get the schedules from the corporation, and as they give us the schedules, and like I mentioned earlier, it's that at 8-speed is going to escalate. It's going to be in more products, and when they give that to us, obviously, the manpower that we have right now won't be sufficient to be able to meet those schedules. So there is going to be some hiring, and they'll tell us when and how, and we're looking forward to that as well.
Are you guys landlocked over there, or is there room to expand?
Yeah, there's room. We, a few years ago, when we had just the plant that we were dealt with, they expanded. They gave us the funds and the resources to expand to put on a front-wheel drive transmission. And so there is, we have a lot of floor space for another product and for additional products, and that's what we're looking forward to filling it up as much as we can, Jeff.
Yeah, you guys have received accolades again and again as far as not only the green work that's being done, but also just the output and what is coming out of that plant.
Right.
Those are things that you guys are not seeking the notoriety. It's coming straight to you, yes?
Yeah, and that's correct, and that's why I'm pretty sure every president, every shop chairman can say that their workforce is the greatest, but we know what the expertise and the time that our membership really put in to go above and beyond to make sure that we're putting out a good product.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't take that for granted either. We felt that we've been given a second opportunity, so we want to make sure. And let me say this: if you talk about training, and you talk about being able to hire. There was a time when you can hire right off the street, and they could come in, and within a relatively short period of time, they could be up to speed with doing the transmissions or whatever that line work was. It's not the case anymore. We have continuous training, and because now, you have to be a computer whiz.
You have to hit the ground running pretty much when you come in. Is what
Absolutely,
you're saying.
we have a multifunctional, diverse workforce that's capable and qualified and able to perform a multitude of tasks. So, we're in the teams, and so that's given our membership an additional incentive to be a part and to be engaged even more.
Coming up in our second segment today, Ray, we're going to talk a little bit about transitioning a workforce out there here in Northwest Ohio, one of our local colleges that is working to do that, talking with employers who need X, Y, and Z from their employees and bringing them in so that they do hit the ground running.
Right.
So are you saying to folks out there who may, and we know there are those out there who are still looking for work
Absolutely.
and are having a
Sure.
doggone hard time finding a job, they can't come in cold turkey and just start working day one over at Powertrain?
Right, there's going to be some extensive training, and not just initial training. It's continuous training to make sure that that everybody's on, because they provide a multitude of tasks now. It's not just one or two jobs that you're doing. You have to be able to, to work your way around that entire team.
The city of Toledo has taken over the "It Matters Where You Make It" mantra over the last couple of weeks, talking about not only the manufacturing base here in the city, but also just what Toledo stands for and what our branding is. What is the Toledo brand? When you look at this, and we had a quote from one of our city council people last week talking about the north side of Toledo and just how important still 20, 30, 40, 50 years, as long as it's been, the manufacturing base is on that part of town. Do you see that still vital to the success of this town?
Oh, absolutely.
Or how, let me phrase it this way. I think that's a rhetorical question. How important is it to continue that manufacturing base?
Well, that's one thing we'll never be able to get away from, manufacturing, and we really don't want to get away from it. But what we do is that we focus on that part of our business. We want to make sure that that Toledo is a manufacturing town, and even if you stop and look at just our neighbors to the north up in Detroit, what's happened there is that they've kind of turned that over to this part of the country. Toledo is.
You see it that way, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I think that with Jeep, Local 12 and Chrysler Machining Plant in Perrysburg, and with Toledo Powertrain, we're still functional, and the proof is in the accolades and the attaboys that we continually get collectively. All of us do it because we do collectively. Jeep, Chrysler Machining Plant, and Powertrain. We do a good job. And
Lord knows she's been dealing with a press relations nightmare. But have you heard, or do you expect to see Mary Barra down here in Toledo anytime soon?
Yes, we expect her to come down, as well as Cindy Estrada. Cindy Estrada is a newly elected UAW vice president that represents General Motors. So we expect to see them both down here together. And
do you have a timeline on that, or are you just saying you think it's going to happen?
Well, I know it's going to happen, but I don't know when. Yeah, and we want her to come, and just like Dan Ackerson, he was here before.
Right.
And we've had other CEOs that come and visit. They like to check out the plants that are doing them good. So.
And one of the other questions that Lisa Guyton kind of pressed your plant, I think the plant manager or either the transition manager was talking about the other vehicles that this new 8-speed could potentially go in. Are you hearing things about already knowing that part of the GM stable is going to include this 8-speed transmission in this car or that car?
Yeah, we're hearing that.
What are you hearing?
And I'll say the same thing I said to Lisa. That's their announcement. That's that's their determination, and I don't want to get too out in front of it. But it only goes to prove that it won't just be in the Corvette.
Yeah,
it's going to be in some of the other high-end cars. And
a big day in Toledo manufacturing starts tomorrow for UAW Local 14 workers and also GM Powertrain. Ray, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. My privilege, my honor. Thank you.
You bet. We'll be right back here on the Roundtable right after this.
Okay.